So here we are, and I'm Bayside.
I'm Boston.
And I'm Colorado. And this is the Unknown Show, where we have Country Geek. The last three songs you heard were Satan and St. Paul by John Fulbright, which I really enjoyed, and then It's Been a While by Baptiste W. Heyman and Caitlin Rose, and then How I Love You by Robert Ellis. And yeah, so any thoughts on those songs before we jump into the next segment?
I mean, Satan and St. Paul is one of my favorite songs on the playlist this week. That one and Wheels by Steve Moakler are two of my top in the country indie sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely go check those out again if you didn't get enough. And yeah, I mean, definitely listen to them.
No, I
can't say it enough.
I can't stress that enough. I said it over break, but Satan and St. Paul, I hadn't heard it before, but what I really enjoyed was like the slow backbeat with the pairing of him just like non-stop singing throughout the entire song. It was very like opposing, but it worked well.
And you mentioned Denver, Colorado, so
you did.
So it's something for everyone.
It's something for everyone. Yep. So the next segment, we're going to be talking about all things dancing in the entertainment world. Recently, I believe 2 weeks ago, Dancing with the Stars started up again for its next season. There's a lot of great stars on it, but one of the professionals that's missing is Cheryl Burke, and she's been on the show basically since it started. And so it's kind of like, where did Cheryl go? She's actually helping or she's basically replacing Abby Miller from Dance Moms, and as the choreographer for whatever studio that they film at for Dance Moms. The Abby Miller studio, but she's replacing her as like the main choreographer in the show, so it's going to be really interesting to see all the changes, especially because there's been a lot of drama around Abby Miller lately, and she decided to leave, even though I was reading about it, and the network was totally willing to like try to make her happy, try to serve her different needs, but it just wasn't a good fit in the end, so she ended up leaving, and now Cheryl Burke's back, so it's going to be very interesting. I was actually just watching a Disney Channel was playing old episodes of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and she was randomly in one episode, which is like, what? Because it's when Esteban pairs everyone up, and they're going to compete in a ballroom dancing competition, and Cheryl Burke, who's a professional dancer and has been for a very long time, posed as this nurse for one of the competitors who was not good at all, and then, of course, it just happens to be that Esteban's left without a partner, and who's gonna cover, last minute, and Cheryl's like, oh, wow, actually, I'm amazing at this, and so that was really fun. That was a fun surprise a element that I forgot about, but I have loved Dancing with the Stars for a long time, and so I know Annie's been watching the show, and I don't know, what are you like thinking about the new season, the stars, the pros, what are your thoughts?
Well, I wanted to comment on the whole Cheryl Burke thing first. I don't watch Dance Moms. I don't I don't have the patience for that.
That sounds
same here. I think I am excited because I hope it makes the show more respectable.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And because having a dance education does not have to be that dramatic, and I understand that's for television.
Yeah.
But I always felt that it degraded what I did my whole life.
Yeah, it stands a bad rap.
Yeah, and like obviously like there's so many different types of like dance educations, etc. But if every time someone finds out that I dance, someone has to ask, "Oh, so you watch Dance Moms?" for me to say no.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just like that's because the show's about the drama. The show's they do show the dance, but I hope that Cheryl Burke, because I think I have a lot of respect for her. I think she'll be able to I hope she's able to turn it around and not get sucked up in the whole reality TV world.
Right. It's kind of like, if you think about it, like the fact that like people approach you about like, you know, do you watch Dance Moms after you say you're a dancer? That's like someone being like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and then being like, oh my gosh, do you watch like Real Housewives? You're like, no, that's not really my life.
Yeah, no, but as far as the new season goes, I'm really enjoying it so far, and compared to other seasons, because, you know, they have the stereotypical, like, usually the figure skater's amazing, and, like, the football player's not great, like, it's, you know, like, whatever the profession of the people are plays into how well they do.
Yeah.
I find that this season has been, like, shaking my beliefs of where people fall.
Right.
So it's led me to be very impressed with the cast that has been selected.
Definitely. I remember looking at, before the season started, looking at with my family who was going to be the stars on this season, and we went through, and there was just some where we were like, that's just not there, but it's because of those like preconceived notions, where it was like, there was Heather Morris, who's from Glee, who, her whole thing on Glee, like, she was known for like the dancing part of it. She was hip-hop though, so like that's something that she has to deal with and adjust to. But we read that and we're like, okay, well, she can definitely keep the beat. Like, she is definitely musically inclined. Same thing, there's a member of Fifth Harmony, which is the same thing. There's Figure Skater, which actually, like you were saying, she... the figure skater that's on right now, she's very, like, lackluster in her performances, which after having people like Christy Yamaguchi and stuff who are so, like, they ended up winning the whole thing, she's a little bit underwhelming in her performance. She's good at dancing, but, like...
I think also what it has to do with is the fact that she hasn't been a figure skater for a while, whereas the other ones, like even Meryl, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her last name, Meryl Davis, yes, she came straight from, like, the Olympics, basically, to do this, and same thing with Charlie White.
Yep.
I was like, Sheen. So they're, like, at their physical peak, whereas she's, you know, hasn't been that. So, like, I think that's where that falls in. But, like, Bonner,
yes,
he is just...
So Bonner's story, he was a bull rider, and then I was reading this, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of elements to this guy, where it was like, he was a bull rider, and then he ended up getting involved in, like, an accident with bull riding and was paralyzed, and then he became a model, because that's just what you do, I guess, after that, and then now he's on Dancing with the Stars, and I'm like...
His real profession is an inspiration to us all.
Oh my god, humanity.
Like, how many times do you hear that bull rider turned model?
Like, turned paralyzed person turned model. Like, I don't know enough of, like, what happened and, like, how, you know, whether it was, like, you know, neck down or, like, what ended up happening. But, obviously, like, he's, like, rocking it now.
Yeah, he's moving his body well. Compared to, like, bull riding, where there's such a clear form, but, you know, you don't... It's like the whole, football thing, where, like, the way you're performing on the field is so different to ballroom dancing, that they usually come off as stiff. But even the football, I voted for him last
nice.
week. Oh my gosh, Rashawn?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember any of the last names, but there's no double names. But I was so impressed by him.
And actually, I mean, with football players in the past, I've realized it's either been like they have just not been good at all, or they've been like amazing and have been in like the final three. Right, and it's usually like the linebacker, like someone where they're like kind of small anyway, or like at least like they're small frames, so like it ends up working out. It's usually when they have like those like really like full on like muscle men guys that you're like, oh, like maybe not.
Cheryl Burke won with a football player. If I remember properly.
I definitely could not remember
to her.
What?
I just remember a ring being involved. Stay tuned after this brief. To wrap up anything while I look that up during music. Anything to wrap up?
No, I mean, just like watch it, because there's a really good batch of celebrities on this season. Even though they might not be as well known, they do have a lot of athletes on more than usual. But
they have personalities.
They do sometimes lack. Right, and they do have people that like we will know where it's like Simone Biles from the U.S. Women's Olympic gymnastic team from this past year and stuff. So like there are people that you do know, but it makes for really great TV too. So
definitely. All right. We'll give you that answer about the Lynn Gate.
Yes.
in a short bit.